Hello everyone, welcome back to Python programming series. This is part 5 video from module 1. This Python programming is there in VTU for first semester. Before starting, if you are a BTech student and new to my channel, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Let us start with the topics covered in this video, that is functions. Function with arguments and return values. This is the topic covered in this video in part 5. Part 1, 2, 3, 4 I have explained the way of program, variable expression of and statements, iterations. These are all the topics I have covered in part 1, 2, 3 and 4. Make sure you watch those videos first for better understand. When you learn from basics, you will understand the next concepts easily. Let us start with the functions with argument. Most functions in Python require input to work. We require some input to work and these inputs are called as arguments. The inputs they have taken or given is called as arguments. Arguments allow the functions to be generalized so they can operate on different data. Based on the given input, given argument, it will operate the different data. For example, absolute function. Let us take the absolute function. The absolute function computes the absolute value of a number. For example, if I take absolute of 5, it will give the output as 5. And absolute of minus 5 is also, it is written in the output as 5. Here 5 and 5 are the arguments. 5 and minus 5 are the arguments, which is the input, and pass it to the absolute function, which is passed to the absolute function. The function returns the number without its sign. Here the 5 and minus 5 returns the value without minus sign. Here in this example you can see that I have taken only one argument, which means only one input. But functions with multiple arguments, I can take one function with multiple arguments, multiple inputs within that function. Let us see. Some functions take more than one argument. For example, power function. The power function calculates the power of a number. It takes two arguments based on the exponent. In power of to find the power, we need two arguments, which is 2 and 3. To find the power of 2 and 3, it will take as 2 power 3. It will take it as 2 power 3 and generate the output as 8. And the second one, power of 7, 4. It will take this as 7 power 4 and generate the output as 2401. This is how I can take the multiple arguments. And how it works, if I take power of 2, 3, it will take 2 power 3 and give the result. Okay. Functions with variable number of arguments. Some functions can take any number of arguments. Here, I have taken one argument, two arguments in the previous examples, but I can take any number of arguments. Let us see with the example. Maximum function. The maximum function returns the largest value among the arguments. For example, maximum of 7 and 11. It will print the 11 as the output because between these two, I will get 11 as the maximum. 11 is the maximum. That's why it will print the 11 in the output. Maximum of 4, 1, 17, 2 and 12. These are all the arguments. I have taken multiple arguments here. It will print 17 because this 17 is the maximum out of these arguments. That's why it will print 17. Maximum of 3 into 11, 5 exponent 3, 512 minus 9, 1024 exponent 0. Here, in this case, it will calculate here. 3 into 11, it will calculate 33. 5 exponent 3, it will calculate 125. 512 minus 9, it will calculate it is 503. And 1024 exponent 0, anything power 0, it will be 1. Among these values, 503 is the maximum. That's why it will print the 503 as the output. Got it? It will calculate and check the result which is the maximum number and give it in the output. Very simple, right? Here you can see in the example, arguments can be values. In these two examples, I have taken values as arguments or expressions. In this example, I have taken the expression, which means expression is also a argument. Here, arguments provide data for functions to work on. Arguments provided some data that will work on, and functions can have one argument or multiple arguments. Can have one argument or multiple arguments. Some functions like maximum can accept any number of arguments. Some functions like maximum can accept any number of arguments, multiple arguments. Arguments can be numbers. I have taken numbers, strings, or even expressions. Arguments can be numbers, strings, and expressions also. And functions that return values, which is called as fruitful function. What are they? Functions that produce a result or value when they call or called is called as fruitful function, which means the function which produces a result or value is called as fruitful function or function that returns value. For example, absolute, it will return a value. Maximum, it will give the maximum among those numbers. Power, it will generate the power and give the output. Return a value we can use, which means these examples functions will return a value. Using the return value, you can store it in a variable or use it in an expression. For example, biggest, I will store maximum of these numbers in biggest. I have assigned this to biggest variable. In previous examples, I have taken only maximum of 3, 7, 2 and 5. It will give the output as 7, and that 7 is stored in the biggest variable. Got it? And x is equal to absolute of 3 minus 11 plus 1. Whatever the value I will get here, it is stored in the variable name x. Very simple, right? It is different from void function. Let us see. Void functions do something useful but do not return any value. Here void function means it do not return any value. For example, if I tell it like draw a square, it will just draw a square. It doesn't return any value. And Python always returns something. So if a void function doesn't return anything, it returns none. Here in the void function, it doesn't return anything. It doesn't return a value, but this fruitful function return a value. Creating your own fruitful function. Use the return statement to send a value back to the caller. You have to use the return statement to send a value back to the caller. For example, compound interest function. To find the compound interest, we need PRN and T. Here, it will define the function name, that is final amount. P is a principal amount. R is a rate, annual interest rate. Here, N is number of times interested is compounded per year, and T is number of years. Here, A is equal to P into 1 plus R divided by N exponent N into 3. This is the formula to find out the compound interest. Return A, which means the function give back to the final amount after the investment period. To invest is equal to float input. How much do you want to invest? It will ask the user how much money they want to invest. Here, float converts the input to a decimal number. Final is equal to final amount. To invest 0.08, 12 and 5. Here, it calls the final amount amount function with the to invest means the user's principal 0.08 which is a 8% annual interest rate which is R, and 12 is a compounded monthly 12 times per year, and 5 means for 5 years which is for 5 years. At the end it will store the result in the final. It will store the result in final. Print means it will print the final amount after 5 years. For example, if I take P is equal to 10,000 and R is 0.008, N is equal to 12, and after 5 years it will be 14,859 according to the formula. Here in this example, all three functions I have used do the same thing. Calculate the compound interest and final amount. Here V2 uses the descriptive variable names. Let us see principal amount, nominal percentage rate, number of times per years, and written principal amount into 1 plus nominal percentage rate divided by number of times per year, exponent which is power, number of times per year into years. This is the formula we have taken in descriptive variable names. The same formula we have used here with the descriptive variable names. In second example, we used shorter names with the same formula. You can see define final amount V3, amount, rate, compounded and years. I have taken the same formula here. Written amount into 1 plus rate divided by compounded, exponent, compounded into years. The same formula. Here V3 and V4 are same. Everything is same. Here it completes the module 1. And this part is functions. Function with arguments and return values. Make sure you watch part 1, 2, 3 and 4. Because if you understand the basics first, you can easily understand the advanced concepts. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And if you want me to explain any particular subject or topic, comment below and let me know. If you found this video helpful, then like this video and send with your friends. Thank you for watching. See you in the Module 2 video.